My name's Alex Nash, but like Alex is quite a popular name in London. So basically when I start working in places, there's always another Alex, and then everyone tends to call me Nash. So Nash thing was there, and then Nash kind of rhymes with cash, and then Cash Money, and so it just turned into like Nash Money. And then I think it was set in stone. I hooked up with Lupe Fiasco, and we used to hang out quite a bit when he was coming to London. And he gave me a big shout out on his first album, and he was like Nash Money dollars. So that kind of stuck. The whole tinkering with stuff is from my childhood. I always used to destroy stuff as a kid. I used to have like G.I. Joes, and we used to like kind of change the torso, for the head and flip things around. And then the sneaker thing was basically from school days. Like everyone wanted the best sneakers at school on the playground. So that was an initial thing from being a kid, kind of relating to the shoes that were coming out. You always wanted the newest shoes. But it was never about collecting. It was never about having. You could only buy one pair of shoes a year, and then I started working in a sneaker store in 2003. And then a good friend of mine, Alistair, who's actually doing quite well now. He's done graphics for Supreme and Nike, and he's had exhibitions at the Reed Space. We were working together at the sneaker store, and he was customizing shoes by spraying them. And he just encouraged me to do my own shoes. I was quite into my moccasins back in 2003, so I just came up with this concept of mixing the sneaker with the moccasin. So I just started mucking about with the needle and thread, and the whole concept of like destroying and rebuilding came about, So, the first thing was just to take the shoe apart from the front. Never take the whole shoe apart, because then you'll just have like loads of pieces everywhere, and you'll just be like, oh my God. So I was just doing it stage by stage, and my first thing was to do the moccasin stitch. And the first time I did it, it was just really looking bad, and then I kind of was disheartened, and I just left it for 6 months. Because it wasn't what I do, it's not like I do stitching and stuff. And then 6 months later, I just thought of another way of doing it, and I did it, and it came out really well. And then I just started, with every shoe after that, I started learning a different process, or adding a different technique, or learning something else, just adding more, because it just gets a bit boring when you just do the moccasin stitch all the time. But that is my signature. That's what I'm known for, is the moccasin stitch. It's been really good, maybe some proper heads have issues with me because I'm working on cult models, like cult Nike models, like Air Force Ones and stuff like that. And I don't know, I don't really read the blogs, I don't really read what people say about me. I think the main cats that really supported me was Sneaker Freaker magazine. I'm not the best talker of my own work, so I guess it's my work that does the talking, and it's got me to this point now where I'm doing street cred and I'm doing the Heritage Project. So I think that must be a testament to where I am, how I'm being received. But I think generally people really like my stuff. I guess every deal is different, with this work. It's like, I charge too much I don't put a price on my shoes, but I think it's too much for the average person to buy. So if someone steps to me and offers me a price, I'll say yes or no. I don't want to put a price on my shoes. Mm-hmm. But it's easier for me to put a price on my shoes when I'm doing commercial projects. I've worked with the V&A in London, I've worked with Vodafone, Vice, I've done like a Foot Locker Nike ad, and these are all things that make what I do viable and cost effective for me and them, because it's not just about the shoe, there's other concept, there's video, there's this and there's that, or like an exhibition. I've been invited to Barcelona to do an exhibition, and I don't just want to go with the shoes that I have, I want to go with something new to kind of hype up the event, like post it on the blogs, like I've done a new shoe and it's being exhibited at this store. It makes an emphasis about why you need to come to my exhibition, because you're going to see the same old stuff, but something new as well. So, I tend not to, do customs. I want to do for people to buy. I'd rather Nike just step to me and was like, do you want to do the moccasin Air Force One or something, and mass produce it, and that's the way the consumer can buy it. or my fans or my people that like my work can buy it. Initially I was coming down to do street cred. That was the first plan, and I was going to come to South Africa for a week and set up my exhibition and, you know, maybe do 1 or 2 shoes for the show. And then like me and the organizer Hardy and Steph, we had a great rapport on the email, and they came up with this idea of doing something for Heritage Day, which was the day that street cred was on. And they came up with this concept of doing a sneaker for every culture, or every official culture in South Africa. So literally they called me up and like, can you come to South Africa tomorrow? Literally like a day's notice. I was like, all right. And I get here and then they're like, right, we want 11 shoes. And I was just like, oh my God, like 11 shoes in like, I don't know, I think it was like 3 weeks. And I had to research the cultures and I had to learn about the cultures. And it was like, I was really inspired. And and obviously they pitched it to SABC2, and SABC2 liked the concept and they liked the whole Heritage Day thing. So that's how it initially started. Is the BWs. I've got a pair in my bag over there, but these are the ones I've customized. These ones. So, the BWs, I think they're called BWs because they're like an extra big window. I think it's big window, that's what it stands for, BW. These ones I've called the bushwalkers, because it's kind of like a bushwalking thing. But so with this shoe, I've added the deck shoe interlacing here. This is what you get in the boat shoes, and then the moccasin stitch, and then this kind of like cross stitch detailing up here. I've replaced the logo on the front here with another logo to match the shoe. I've added these hiking hooks with eyelets, like in a vintage metal. This was my childhood shoe. This, I think, came out in England in like 91. Me and my mates, we used to be big fans of the Prodigy, and the Prodigy used to wear these in the early 90s. So we used to wear them. So it was these, I used to wear like loads of Air Max, pretty much. Air Max was my one. It's pretty much Triax. So, and I'm a big fan of the Adidas ZX range, because I guess the most shoes I like are Nikes. But then my top 3 shoes would be, you know, in the top 3 is my Adidas ZX 8000, the BWs, and this other company called Visvim, which I don't have a proper example of because the ones that I've customized them mostly. But these are Visvims, but I've replaced the soles with Nikes. So Visvim's a Japanese company, and they kind of were on this Native American tip long time, but very elitist company. This shoe, this upper, is sold in London for like £275. Quite an elite brand. It's very underground. So yeah, so Visvim, Air Max BW, and the ZX 8000 are all like the top 3 favourites. Yeah, there's some that I just wouldn't work with because I don't like, or there's nothing that's too precious that I wouldn't touch. I say if you've got a great love for it and a great passion for it, then go for it. But it's not easy. I wasn't looking to do this. I wasn't looking to get this far. It was just an idea. It was just a concept. I just did it for myself, and it kind of picked up. And like I said, I was doing like lots of different things before I was doing this, you know. And I would just advise, I don't know, I'd just say stay at school. Like leaving school early was the biggest mistake I ever made. I left school at 15 before I got any of my proper qualifications. So I just say like study hard, and yeah, if you've got an aim and goal in life, just work at it. Try and be involved with the scene, you know. You're not gonna like come out of school and go into the top job. Just go in where you can, get to know the people, get to know the industry. Make sure it's for you, you know, like you don't want to get that far and just be like, oh my God, I can't stand this. So just feel it and, you know, just be a part of something, be a part of the industry and try and embrace it and just go with it. Otherwise, you know, just go with the flow.